Hello, you want to know the answers to 7 questions? Well, I have 7 answers for you, Andre. What motivates me as a player? As a player, all I look for is a good story. A good story can also involve conflict between people and characters. As what motivates my roleplay of a character, I've never really thought about that. I tend to play a character and respond to events as I feel that character would respond based on their background, history, and how I feel the character would respond. So the motivation of of my role playing generally tends to be from the external stimuli provided to me by other characters and the GM themselves. Now, you wanted to ask, is being a player and playing a character concept the same thing to me? Yes and no. Being a player is being mindful of not only the mechanics of what's going on, but also mindful of the things that the GM is telling you, various worthwhile notes and things that you might want to bring up later. But playing a character concept is very different. It's like acting, but it goes hand in hand with being a player. So they're symbiotic with each other, I would say. Now, you also ask what defines player versus player. Player versus player is when two players, for better or word, go at it, whether it's in a personal debate over rules, or whether or not it's they're actively going at each other outside of the game. It might even be going at each other inside of the game, but it's a player going after another player. Character versus character is exactly that. It's when a character interacts with another character in a versus manner. That's how I see it. Now, player versus character, that's different. It's when a player dislikes a character but not the player themselves, so they're demeaning or even attacking or even damaging a character, even their own character, because a player can be against their own character, never mind anybody else's, in order to pull themselves away or get that character away from the game, to remove the character from the game. Character versus player, I can't say I've ever come across, personally. I would always define that as where somebody's role-playing their character in such a way that they're not particularly responding to out-of-character cues very well, and therefore their character is dissing on a player. That's how I would define it. Now, whether that actually makes for a disparate and very different, very negative game remains to be seen. I've played games where player versus player has destroyed the game because the people can't associate with it anything. It's made for bad feelings all around, and it just doesn't end well. But at the same time, if people are being sensible, even mature about what they're doing, then player versus player, character versus character, whatever you want to call it, as long as it's established within the narrative and actually has a good reason, I don't see anything wrong with it, as long as it's all above board and everybody understands what's happening. That's my definition of these things.